Hey guys, Omar here. Hope all is well in the world of you. Today we are going to be trying to answer the age-old question, how do we get good guitar sounds in a small apartment? A few months ago I received the Yamaha THR10C and I've been playing it a bunch. I think it sounds great. It's my first modeling amp. So basically this amp has 5 different amp simulations within it. The C means that I believe it stands for combo, so all of the amp models are a Fender Blackface, an AC30, Tweed, they're all cleaner amps. They have an THR10X, which is high gain, and then the THR10, which I think is just a wide range of different amps. This recording technique is going to apply to all those amps though. The cool thing about this amp and a lot of modeling amps is that it has a USB out. So you can actually plug straight in and go right into your computer. Recording direct is never something that I thought that I would be doing, but as you heard from the clip in the intro, it sounds really good. Another huge bonus is that you don't actually hear the amp in the room. This is what that intro clip sounded like in the room. Let's plug it in and I'll show you how I got those sounds. Alright guys, everything's set up. So what we're going to try and do today is create a virtual wet, dry, wet rig. So if you don't know what that is, essentially it requires 3 amps, and what you're going to do is you're going to send your delay and reverb to the left and right. Often that'll be clean, and then you're going to send your dry, often distorted sound through the center. And that gives a really wide and rich sounding tone. So before we get started, you need to make sure that you've downloaded your proper driver. You can find this all on the Yamaha site here. You can also download the editor. You don't need to, but there's some parameters on the editor that you can access that you can't through the amp. So I've got it downloaded. And then I downloaded the preset library for the THR10C. If you have the X, you can download that, do your thing. So we're gonna open up our DAW. I'm using Logic Pro X, and I'm going to create 4 channels. So the amp is actually sending Logic 4 channels right now. The first 2 is a stereo left and right of the amp simulation with all of your modulation, the gain sounds, all that. It's what you're hearing through the amp. And then the next 2 are a stereo left and right of a dry signal, as if you were plugging straight into your interface. And that's really important. We'll get into that in a second. So we're going to want to record enable all of them and monitor just the first 2. That's the amp simulation one. And we're going to name them guitar 1 left, guitar 1 right, dry left, and dry right. We're going to pan these accordingly and open up the editor. So I've already made 2 presets here. And we're going to start with the wet sound, the stereo sound. So I've named it demo stereo. We're going to be using a deluxe, like a Fender Blackface sound. And I've got a tape echo and a hall reverb, and we're just gonna go ahead and record that. So what we're going to do next is try to reamp that through our dry signal, which is going to be like a gainy kind of thing. This is actually a really cool feature in the amp. What it allows you to do is, if you're not satisfied with the sound that you've got, but you're really satisfied with the performance, you can reamp it through the THR, which is what we're about to do. Or if you don't like the sound of the THR and you need to go to the studio, you're paying a bunch of money for the studio, you can always get the performance right at home, bring that into the studio, and then just reamp it in the studio. You don't need to waste a bunch of time trying to get the perfect take. You know you've already got it. You just put it through the amp, get the right sound, and hit record. How we're going to do that is we're going to mute the 2 guitars that we just tracked. We've just got the dry signal coming through when we listen back. Then we're going to create, we just need 1 more track because it's going to be mono anyways. Guitar 2 mono. Sure, whatever. We're going to record enable it, and we're going to mute it. if we're able to hear it back, then it's going to create a loop and it's not going to be good. So what I'm going to do is take my plug here and I'm going to plug this into the headphone jack. So it's going to go out the headphone jack and back into the guitar amp. Now we've got to go through, change the setting to the demo, the mono one that I've made. Now this is going to be like an AC30. There's a little bit more grid on it, and as you can see, I've got a phaser here as well. So we're going to go back here. And the only other thing that we really need to make sure to do, as you can see, there's a lot of signal coming through, and that's because there's a loop created. So we need to, on the amp, turn the guitar volume completely down. As you can see, the signal went down there. And then we need to turn the USB auxiliary up to its fullest. Now we're just gonna hit record. Now we're just gonna mute the dry left and right, and we can just bounce this. Now I'll show you guys what it sounds like with just the mono guitar, and then I'll bring in the stereos. Now I know what you're thinking. Would you really choose this over, let's say, a Fender DeVille 212, which is what I have in the studio? No way. You get that thing cranking, it's gonna sound great. What I do think though, is if you put both those tracks in a mix, you compress it and you upload it to, let's say, YouTube, I think it'd be pretty hard to tell the difference. Take that in mind and combine it with the limited microphones I'm able to use, my limited knowledge in recording, and the fact that I don't have access to the studio all the time, and I'm recording in this room 90% of the time. This amp is a great solution. Let me know what you guys think. Would you ever consider using this instead of your bigger amp? Do you have any other solutions to recording in a small space? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye.